Welcome to the Magic of Boot 77th episode. Ronnie here. I have Shudipta. We're recording after a while. How how have you been?
So far good. Everything is new actually, and we are having so many technical issues today.
Yeah, it's part of the fun. Was trying to go
Yeah.
live and yeah, it didn't happen. But coming back to that, we had lots of things to talk about. Starting, where do you want to start?
We can start from like today's game, like Chelsea versus Liverpool.
Sure.
For, for our viewers,
We're going to talk
actually,
it about it's a preview, right?
yeah, and also like for our viewers, like for their information, we have decided to change our structure. Um, so we will not go through every match as possible or something like that. And it's like at the end of it, it's like we are blabbering it. We will focus on specific matches
Yep.
right now. One, two, or probably three highest. And we'll go through previews, I guess. And it's actually up to you if you are watching it, and then if you have like special recommendation or something like that, like just let us know 2 weeks before, so that like we can record it in the next weekend or something like that.
Yeah, great. I guess we can jump into it. If you're ready to talk about some Liverpool versus Chelsea. Since uh, obviously both teams has significant amount of changes. So, what is your basic expectation from this game?
Nothing actually. It's still preseason. It feels like preseason. Also, like Chelsea bought a bunch of new players. Like they are like sort of like new Nottingham Forest or something like that.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't know how will it work. Also, Liverpool changed their entire midfield. They are sort of like in a battle for Caicedo
yeah,
right now.
yeah,
I'm not sure if anyone was winning because Caicedo wants to go to Chelsea. I guess like there is a big package of money involved, and as you know, like from the last summer, sorry, last winter, he wanted to move out because of the contract situation. So it was temporarily avoided by the Brighton owners. They gave him a short-term contract, and because of the contract, his value is now a little bit higher, and that's why they are Liverpool made a 110 million pound bid, and I don't know, like at the end of it, one party will win, and today is sort of like the game for, I don't know, battle for Caicedo, something like that.
yeah. And there's a lot more to beside Caicedo.
Yeah,
Obviously, as you mentioned, it still feels like kind of preseason. It's not really settled in yet. It
yeah,
takes good few weeks to feel that. But again, these are important games. These are really nervy games as well. So for Liverpool, last season wasn't really what they were hoping for, and there are a lot of changes. Like Henderson has been one of the key figures in this dressing room. Has gone to Saudi Arabia. I think there's been trend for a lot of
yeah,
players, not
three,
just him. Um,
yeah,
Firmi,
three Liverpool players,
Firmino,
Firmino, Fabinho as well.
exactly. So and they've got some new services from, as you say, two Brighton players. If Kaiser decides to join, um, but do you feel Liverpool will have a little bit of edge on that, given that Chelsea was really, Liverpool was mess. What about Chelsea? Last year it was really mess.
Actually, Actually, if you see the last 10 games, I guess like they have a good run. I think they were just behind City in the last 10 game. They could not actually made it to the top 4, but they were fifth and almost had it actually. if they started the run like one or two match before that, then that they would have actually also like they have some crazy results like 3-3 draw with Brentford. One of the best game probably last
Yeah.
in the last season in Premier League. Um, there were actually a few uncertainties, and we are actually going to dive into it.
Sure. Let's dive
Um,
into it.
yeah, I will show you my screen. Can you see?
Yep. Pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah, like I did not put any name, so like I used
Yeah. Fair enough.
others.
So which one is Chelsea?
Because
I'm assuming the blue one.
yeah, of course, the blue one, and the red ones are Liverpool.
Okay.
So they used to, can I say, build up as a 4-3-3 like Salah and other winger, whoever is playing. There will be like pushing other teams back a little bit, or running. Salah basically will run through these half spaces. I don't know about like who is going to play, um, but it seems like this position. I think Jota is going to start or something like that. But it depends. Like if Jota is playing, then he's a little bit. How can I say? More like a false nine, and if Gakpo is playing, his position is sort of like he will sort of create sort of like a diamond in the midfield
Yep.
or something like that. And now they since the last season they started put Trent Alexander-Arnold in the midfield to I don't know like to use his ball control capacity and this long passes uh, towards this through the defense actually, especially those lob passes toward the other side of the second bar or something like that. So and Darwin Nunez actually will benefit from that actually because if he starts there at the left, and he has a tendency to move in the second post as well. So yeah, so far what I have seen, like McAllister, well, he can play in every position, but like it's a good idea to play him in these spaces because if you remember, like last season, he was really dangerous in this sort of spaces, half spaces. Sometimes he was shifting
Yep.
with like other midfielders and create sort of like a confusion to the man markers or something like that. Sometimes some teams actually, like Forest probably, or some other teams actually try to man mark him to stop him. But there were other contributory factors to that team, like last season with Deserbi. But this season, I don't think he will. They should actually try to. And there is this interesting addition to the team is actually Soboslai, because as you can see, like the build up is pretty much narrow. So they will need some depth, I guess. So how will they get it? Actually, it's Soboslai who actually played for Leipzig in that right winger as an attacking midfielder, or even like a false nine, and sometimes like what's this? Sometimes in the left half spaces. Actually, he ran quite a lot. So he can play basically both of these midfielders can play also like they are defensively solid and really face resistance. Also like they can how can I say match up the energy of the club team required. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like they will try to create this sort of like a 3-2-5 in the build-up situation. So yeah, that's sort of what we are expecting. But
Right.
as you know, it can
Yeah.
change.
And again, it's really start of the season. To be honest,
Yeah,
it's takes at least few games. But what does
yeah,
happen all of a sudden with a new manager? There is point to prove, right? and
Right.
sometimes it brings blessing to the team, and the players, they started to I mean show their potential and try to secure first 11 spot and stuff like that. So on that sense, obviously Klopp is not a new manager. Obviously Pochettino is, and but he has its work cut out, and there's a lot of player from Chelsea. I mean, there was too many players to start
Yeah.
with, and a lot
Yeah.
of players have
But
left. Go ahead.
sorry to interrupt.
No, no.
But for from Chelsea's point of view, their plans were a little bit disrupted. I guess like because of the injury of Nkunku, I think they because of that reason they went for Tommy Adams. Tommy Adams, right?
Yeah.
The U.S. international. So like I think they bought him for how can I say 20 yeah, 20 million pound or something like that. Yeah, and another thing is that like there were other players like they start looking solid like they bought them last season like but there's this problem with both of the team is like their central pieces are not actually fixed because Fabinho used to play this role for like
Hmm.
the pivot midfielder for Liverpool for a while, and now they thought like Henderson will stay or something like that. But when the offer came, they accepted. So I don't know like who will play in this role. McAllister can play, or Curtis Jones or someone else. But I don't think it would be a good idea to play Alexander Arnold in this role. It would be it's not
No,
because
definitely, I agree.
yeah,
Not.
great deserve.
It's
Uh, same
Go ahead.
same thing actually goes for Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah.
He can actually like support this. How can I say? He can play this role as a pivot or something like that. But he will need someone else in besides because he does not have this positional sense like as a pivot, like single pivot. If you remember in the World Cup, he always have either like DePaul or McAllister besides him, or sometimes when they were ahead, Paredes came in or something like that and supporting him. So yeah, because he has a tendency to like push up to get more involved in the final third, especially in this sort of spaces. But if you know from the fact, I think we discussed it our last or the video previously we recorded. I
Right.
think it depends on like you don't move that much, but you just pop up in the right places,
Or
and that's not his skill set actually.
my bigger thing with Klopp's classic successful Liverpool team is the transition. How quicker how brilliantly they could just and quickly they can transit to attack. Um, with the attackers they have right now, obviously all are fairly pacey, but still it's not really. I mean, I'm not really sure how they're going to get the ball on back of net. Obviously, Salah can score, but he had some rough patches last season. It was not consistent all over.
Um, Actually, they scored pretty much average or something like that.
Yep.
But the problem was in their defense because of Alexander Arnold. They had to like think about also like the shapes and also Fabinho was not in good form as well. So they did not have a stable midfield as well. But now they can actually push up like with this five player. They can actually create sort of like a mid block or something like higher mid block or something like that and try to win the ball there because as you know like the season before when they have this like 64 games run or something like that then they were actually getting a lot of balls there and if you remember the Klopp's quote was that like counter counter pressing is the best playmaker.
Yeah.
So
Um,
so probably they will stick with this, stick with this principle. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I was going to say this would be very interesting to see how they're going to make any kind of adjustment to the back line
Mhm.
to the front, and how quick the transition is, as well as it would be interesting to see the Mauricio Pochettino's classic side always had a wing backs has very important role to play, and Chelsea has very I mean Rick James and what's his name, um,
Chilwell.
yeah, they will have a significant role to play. Not just only this game, but for the season. It would be really interesting to see how they're going to
Yeah,
use it.
yeah, but here's the difference actually. Reece James is really good in this sort of area, actually, going up and down uh, this sort of area. But they're not going to play with like back three. They're going back to like 4-2-3-1,
Yeah,
or
that's
4-3.
yeah, that's
Like,
I'm not well. Let's not put my judgment over it. Let me see the game. I'm still kind of doubtful about not having like three in the back.
um, yeah, but I'm not sure actually because three in the back is would be a waste of resources because like for example if you're playing like this or something like that, so yeah, eventually what happens there, like you have like one less midfielder, um, and if they play Jota or someone else, even like Jota Gapco, who are playing this role actually, like they are sort of like coming down in the like on the neck of the
No,
pivot players,
I
or
totally get it. I totally get it. They're going to outnumber
they
in the middle. You need some kind
they
of
will outnumber in the
yeah.
middle actually, and
But then
Liverpool will get all there and a lot, and that's why actually Liverpool is like really dangerous.
but then you can really outnumber them on the flanks because Liverpool is
Yeah,
what it
but you have to
seems.
go outside of the press, and none of the players actually know each other that much actually.
That's true. That's very true.
Actually, that's true for both of the team. So
Yeah,
like it will be a really highly
high risk.
transitional game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also like a really transitional game so far. And Liverpool will have a little bit edge over Chelsea, because none of these 11 player, I guess, except for Reece James and the keeper and Chilwell, I guess, like also I think defense they played well together, but midfield and attack is completely new. And for Liverpool, I think their attack is right now not new actually, but the midfield is. So I don't know. I am interested to see who is playing this role for the both of the team actually.
Okay. Fair enough. Um, yeah, I don't have anything to add, and it's really early.
Yeah, but yeah, also like from the Chelsea side, what they will try to do, I guess, like
But do
um,
you have a question? Do you think Modric is going to play? Because
yeah,
they've
he's
lost
going to play.
Mason Mount, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
he's. I think he's the one of the most important part of the Pochettino's plan, and he looks a little bit like mm, muscly, I would say, since the break. I, I'm not sure who is going to play the striker role. I think the Jackson or Jameson. I forgot his name. Jameson is the name of the whiskey. Jackson, I guess. Yeah, they bought him from uh, from somewhere. I guess I forgot actually. But yeah, Atletico. I guess I forgot actually. But yeah, like so far what I've seen actually, like both of these players are. I'm not sure about right wing. I think Maduike can play that role actually in the right wing, and he had a quite a good run. But I'm not sure about his fitness because I read somewhere he is injured. weeks ago, I guess. Also, Nkunku is out uh, with injury. So I think one of them are playing, or they can go for a false nine with like Starling, but what's his name? Mudrik, uh,
Yeah.
the Ukrainian. Yeah,
No, fair enough. I mean,
he's going to play, and they will try to get like the transition and try to win the ball over there in the like around the mid circle and try to like push play those like long ball towards this area, and I don't know, like they get some sort of. I'm not sure about that. What will they do in the final third? But they will try to go in transition as well. So like it will be a really highly transitional game.
yeah,
I would assume,
it
but
could be end to end, uh,
yeah,
at least a
could be
phase
end
of
to end.
it.
And also, like it could be like really nasty game, like
Yeah,
players like slamming at each other because it's still preseason and
yeah, yeah.
nobody is that much fit actually. So
Fair
far,
enough.
what I've seen.
Fair enough.
Also, it's not like the normally we have like a season ends and then there is a like a gap, and I think this time it's only like 3 or 4 weeks. So I don't think so. Think that any of the team is like in the top of their physical fitness.
Fair enough. Um, yeah, I don't have anything else to add on or add on there.
We can move to Bilbao versus Real Madrid.
For sure. Let's move there.
Yeah, um, yeah. About that. Bilbao will try to be sort of like a 4-2-3-1 or something like that. Like,
It's still Valverde, right?
huh?
Valverde is still the manager.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So they will sort of create like in the defensive shape. They will sort of create like a 4-4-2 block or something like that. And as you know from Valverde, he likes 4-4-2
Yeah,
sometimes. But the difference is with this team actually, like their attacking midfielders and Nico Williams.
yeah,
Is they especially they play a little bit lopsided, right-sided, like favorite or something like that. And what happens like when they attack? What's his name? I forgot actually. I have it. I had it actually. But whoever playing this role actually, yeah, can I say? He tried to stick with the a little bit right side because when they are count like they have quite a young players actually right now, and they normally go in transition with like these 4 players like really fast, really quick, and other joins actually a little bit later, and yeah, for left behind to protect. I haven't actually seen Bilbao like passing or building up or like pressing too much. Although I only see Bilbao's like with big teams, I
yep,
guess. Probably that's why. But they are both of like all of these 3 players and left wingers or Munier or something like that. They are really good in like transition, and Nico Williams he just creeped up some other I think he's the second most he completed second most dribbles in La Liga like last season probably.
oh,
That's
d-
why huh, sorry.
no, didn't. I didn't expect that.
Oh yeah, he did it probably, and that's why like one of the reason or dribbles per 90. I forgot actually which one, but that's why some of the teams are were interested in to him. Like I guess Newcastle or some other Premier League teams actually, and he can actually go both of the way, and he's sort of like the centerpiece, And for Real Madrid, they have the issues with left back. Now Courtois is out. I don't know. He has the same injury as me or similar.
Oh,
Um,
what do you have?
I have MCL.
Okay, that's
He
not
has
good.
ACL.
Yeah,
Yeah.
SL is, yeah, not not comparing to anything. Yeah, those both are dangerous. That can really really ruin the quality of life.
Yeah, exactly. I cannot do some other stuff. I was getting actually better and started doing sort of exercise, but then I have to move into different cities. So I, how can I say, I had to completely um, change my lifestyle as well. Also, this injury problem, like I had to change a lot actually. Like also it actually got worse when I was carrying stuff from one city to another city.
Yeah, no, I
So,
totally can get it.
so yeah,
But yeah,
and
uh, going
yeah,
back to the injury and the extent of it, it depends on. Obviously, um, he's an athlete, a professional athlete
yeah,
would be taken care of more than a regular
yeah, of course,
guys like you. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But I think. Oh, sorry. Uh, Other than injury, I don't know like who will replace him. Like they are trying to go for David De Gea because he's out of contract and a free agent. So they don't actually need to play from the back because like they have Diego Militao or sorry, Eden Militao, not Diego Militao. Okay, that happens when you are not recording for a while.
yeah,
You
no,
forget name.
any military is fine. I think at this point,
Yeah,
um, Militao
not really.
and
Both
Alba.
both
No,
expected the opposite.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, both Militao and Alava is way better with ball. I think Rudiger is pretty decent. Carvajal, we can we know about him, and I'm not sure who is going to play. I think they bought the Espanyol left back.
Yeah,
Yeah, I forgot his name actually. Again, sorry about that. But yeah, they are actually pretty decent guys. So like they don't need actually, and they are not like inviting that much pressure because if you remember, Courtois is not that actually good with ball. So like they if they buy or sign De Gea right now for
actually,
free.
the former Madrid keeper Keller Navas, he doesn't, he's not wanted by PSG too. So there's other chance.
Yeah, but they are getting D here for free.
That's true.
They would buy
But again,
someone if they
I
have.
trust Navas more than De Gea. I mean, obviously, good for Madrid if they get De Gea.
Yeah, but of course, like Navas, but Navas has I think he has a decent season when he moved to Nottingham Forest. Um, he saved quite a lot. But De Gea, I think like they are looking for someone to stop shots actually. So I think in this case, right now, De Gea is a little bit better. Also, like financially.
Good for Madrid.
Um, yeah, of course. So Ancelotti installed a new system this year instead of like playing 4-3-3 because normally Benzema would have played and he drops down and collect the ball and like energize Vinicius or Rodrigo or whoever playing in the right wing. Um, Now they have like Joselu. I think he's playing in there, I guess. And Vini is playing here, and that rule I saw most of the time. What's his name? Jude Bellingham. Uh, Jude Bellingham is playing as a top of the diamond or something like that, and he just drives from like midfield from one end to another end, which is a good sign because they, if you remember in our last analysis on Real Madrid, like why they are not competing for league actually because of the pace and um, intensity, and some games are like situational. So um, and some are not actually, like some are like you need some sort of like a put pressure because compared to Premier League, La Liga, like lower or mid-table teams, they try to sit a little bit deeper than Premier League because of the, what I say, the nature of the league, I guess. Um, so if you want to break down in, so either you have to go like really fast, which Real Madrid will try to do in the beginning, or you can actually break it down with like something with something clever. Last season, in the beginning, Vinicius was trying to do some tricks and tips, and he was actually like getting better in breaking down for. But for some reason, he, after the World Cup, I haven't actually seen that from him. But he was still consistent, so I think he will improve a little bit this year more and continue what he was doing because I think it comes at the end of the season, or like especially in the January or something like this, when they have like really uh, tough Champions League fixture, uh, then they will need and teams are sitting deep. They will need someone who can actually break it down. Normally, Benzema would have was doing that actually for a while, but right now they will need someone. Joselu, I'm not sure about him, like where will play, or they can actually move into like playing 4-3-3 or like a. I'm not sure about Christmas tree,
Yeah, could be
but
Diamond too, right? Because he
yeah,
likes diamonds quite a lot. I mean, Bellingham can also play as a false nine as
yeah.
well.
Yeah, but here is this problem with like Real Madrid because like in the preseason they did not do well. They lost quite a few games.
Yeah,
I think they conceded quite a few goals, and that's because of the system Diamond. And Ancelotti was saying like player need to get used to it or something like that. But the problem actually appears here, like when you are playing in diamonds, for example, in the opponent third. So let's see. Yeah, let's set it up actually. Yeah, something similar. So yeah, in the diamond, it is basically a narrow system. So you are every players actually, like even if you count the center back, there are like three players in the same in the that half spaces actually, and which is not actually good because you need a width to break down teams, especially the defensive teams. um, what you can do, like if teams are pressing, you can actually like find that really good 1-2-1-2 and walk through the how can I say, or through the press. Or if the presses are working, then you have to go around, and that's the problem. Like they only have like these fullbacks to give the depth. And sometimes like Vinny is running this area, and that actually creates a little bit problems because when they lose the ball, normally you are expecting them to, because all of the six players now who are playing quite young actually, and like really good runners. But the problem with that actually, like with the narrow shape, like in the final phase of the game, uh, all the forwards actually seems to be like, for example, wingers are in the half spaces, Billingham roaming around this area, or wherever the ball is, he was supporting that side. All the midfielders are so like it can create sort of like a 5 or 6 in the um, six actually. So yeah, one player should be there. Yeah. So it sort of creates like a five, which is how can I say, which is sort of like most elite teams are adopting like 5 or 6 in the attack. So sometimes like Carvajal join. So there's this like gaps in this sort of areas, and that gap actually killed so many teams, and that is actually right now killing how can I say, Real Madrid this season so far. So they have to actually, in order to solve this, actually they need to actually um, invert or something like that, or like play sort of like someone or like Rudiger as a as in like a John Stones role or something like that, and create sort of like a back three. But that's the problems with the uh, uh, profiles like Lucas Vasquez or Carvajal, who is playing in that role. They are not actually good in the half spaces. Carvajal can come in and play the ball in these sort of areas, create crosses or something like that. But defensively, he's not good in defending half spaces like from there in the beginning or something like that. He can actually run in the full space in this sort of area. So that's the problems right now they are facing. Also, like they are not actually like letting anyone jump. Sometimes like Alaba jumps here and create sort of like a box there to get more control. But you are I'm not sure like how can I say? So far, none of the players are not in physical fitness.
Yeah,
But
that's probably the reason. And also
yeah,
preseason doesn't give
yeah,
you
of
that
course. Yeah,
motivation.
pre-season is like a friendly, like glorified, friendly,
Yeah.
not glorified without glory.
Yeah, you're
uh,
focusing more on
uh,
finding yourself in rhythm and fitness and syncing with the team rather than winning the game. But yeah, obviously.
but but by the season progress, actually, I would say like I would agree with like Ancelotti. He said like we have enough actually, and they actually have enough in terms of how can I say players in the midfield, because Kroos and Modric still there, and they have still like Valverde or Kamavinga, Chouameni, Bellingham. This quartet is like really younger quartet, and they can actually press the ball and have the ball win in the final third and continue to attack, and which is actually one of the reason Barcelona won last season, because like there weren't any Xavi or Iniesta like playmaker, or not even, I'm not talking about Messi actually, but they still won it anyway because they were a little bit more consistent in pressing in this
Mhm.
sort of areas actually, with Pedri, Gabi, and Frankie De Jong. So now I think Real Madrid a bit favorite in this case actually.
For sure. Um, yeah, I guess we kind of covered it.
Yeah,
Um, we wanted to talk about uh, commercial.
yeah, of course. Actually, it was pretty much a similar game approach from Arsenal and Man City, but there was the difference actually, because Man City have the ball, and Arsenal was really happy to give it away. But there was some changes in personnel, like Gundogan played in the last this picture last time, but he left, and Arsenal signed Rice, Havertz, and Timber. and they're going to bring a new goalkeeper. So it's quite a lot of changes actually. What City was trying to do actually, although John Stones played actually, but he was not actually diving into the midfield. They already have like a yeah, they're sort of shaped like this, and Rodrigo was getting the ball from here, Ederson pushing up, uh, and Kovacic was like sometimes he was here, sometimes he was there. And they played like a plain 4-4-2. Bernardo Silva popping up here somewhere in the half spaces. Sometimes like have a overlap run with like Walker, but other threes are like when they were attacking, other threes were like solid. But the problem they faced actually, what Arsenal did, they first blocked this channel. Then the second thing they did, like Havertz actually have this like curvy run from there. So Ederson have like, how can I say, only option is oh sorry, uh, Rice was jumped into Rodri, Odegaard was pushing in this area, Saka was here, and Timber, I think he's not like inverted fullback or something like that, but Party was there. Gabriel pushing up sometimes, and Timber pushing up this area sometimes. And Saliba was on the shoulder of Holland. Ben White some kept Jack Grealish silent for most of the time, and then he was taken off. And what happened actually, like they overloaded this area. They are not. They have this curvy run. Uh, Martinelli was here, so they like he was trying to block those channels if Havertz missed, and they actually like sort of uh, dictating the ball towards like left side. And once you choose the side, then it becomes sort of like a rondo, a little bit bigger scale actually. But then you have like players all over um, the field to battle like a 1v1 situation and something like that. And you already taken out like two players there, and one of the midfielders, or sometimes like Timber was also onto Alvarez sometimes, and sometimes Gabriel was on Alvarez, and it's sort of like a 1v1 towards the whole midfield, except City has like two players down there, and they can go long there. Sometimes it did to take, but the problem was that like Timber, he's a way better defender than Zinchenko. That's why they could not actually have a snip. And so far, yeah, that was working actually. And Mikel Arteta, I think, they did quite a routine, or also like in the training session, they practice a lot penalty shootout, and they finally won it in penalty. But interesting thing I am actually thinking about actually, because in some matches actually, because Arteta brought Trice to play in this sort of pivot role to shelter the defense, and Havertz to play as a eight, as a replacement of Granit Xhaka or something like that. And if, or is Jesus? Oh, he's not there. So like if, for example, Jesus is there in the, I think it's one of my theory. In the progress of the season, we can see something like a shift here, something like that actually. Because if you also like if Trossard plays, he can shift there as well. This sort of shifting. So like midfielder, this midfielder will become sort of like a false nine instead of this player actually. It's one of my theory, and it was actually based on last year's game. One of the game, I think it was against Fulham, because Fulham or Nottingham Forest, because it was either like 1-1 or something like that, and Jesus actually dropped down here, and he was actually, and Xhaka was there, and he was trying to make those crosses actually. Also, Martinelli tried to make those crosses like directly, and it took the team, the opponents actually quite, how can I say, in surprise or something like that. But Granit Xhaka is not like a, well, if you consider finishing, Havertz is a better finisher than Granit Xhaka. So I think it's one of the reason, and another reason is like the physicality, because when Ramsdale was going wrong, yes, sorry, long, and Havertz was winning the balls actually, like the fast ball, and like create this hold up playing or something like that, and make those passes to Martinelli, Saka, or who are progressing, or Odegaard or something like that. So yeah, that's my take so far. And it's like too early to say anything much more about City, because they will transition. And yesterday's game, like they play Rico Lewis, and what's his name? Uh, yeah, last match, AK was not available, so they played sort of like a 3-2 situation, but with like AK, Rico Lewis, and they are playing Alvarez quite a lot actually, because of he pops up sometimes, and yesterday he also like made an assist. So with City, it is, I don't know, still early to say, and Pep Guardiola is master of changes. I don't know what he will give us this season.
Yeah, um, totally agreed. And fairly well covered. I did, to be honest, I was not expecting this game, and all of a sudden I was checking Google what's game coming up, and then it was just about to start. I said, "Oh, okay, should watch this." And I thought Arsenal did very well to manage the game, and I was more impressed with them because there's a lot more frustration on the last season. The thing happened in the tail end, and some of the players went to the, like, say for example Saka. I was looking at him. He looked gained a lot of muscle mass. So yeah, it would be a very very interesting season from Arsenal's point of view.
Yeah, I think the last season they were a little bit late in physicality, but they brought like physical alternatives to those sort of players. Um, I would say Granit Xhaka is much more stronger than Rice. But Rice, if you remember that game, actually, like everyone is talking about this tackle. Like Bernardo Silva was running loose, and he came back from the behind and just take the ball away from Bernardo Silva. And I haven't actually seen doing this to Bernardo Silva for a while, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we'll see what's going to happen. Other than that, we've covered
Yeah.
two previews and one review. Um, is there anything else we want to talk?
Not really. We have like bits and pieces of our other stuff going on. Like
Yeah,
we can talk about like football rules actually in Premier League, because now last season I think they in average per 90 they played like 54 minutes. So now they are like, if any team is wasting times, then this time is actually added to the end. So it's a really really bad news for Newcastle. I guess.
well,
Um,
not only Newcastle. I understand they're being
yeah,
probably one of the top
yeah.
or
Actually, it's one of the reasons the Premier League was, how can I say, more eye-catching in a way, because like it feels like it's on action all the time. So, and because of that, I think we will see a lot of like, um, how can I say, I don't like to call anything, any system like, this coach's ball or something like that. But we will see see like goalkeepers are playing like Brighton, because yesterday Ederson and also like I guess what's his name, Trafford, uh, yeah, Burnley goalkeeper. They both actually like hold on the ball on their feet until opponent team coming in press. So we'll see this sort of things
Yep.
because of that. And another thing is that like that's not time wasting in a way.
Well,
So
technically,
technically, so you
yeah.
cannot actually run for like 90 minutes. It's not possible. So you will
No,
find a way to,
no.
and also like there were I think although it was expected because I saw that yeah, who were mentioning it. I think it was I forgot like who's mentioning in one of those fans YouTube channels that like because of Mikel Arteta, like he was like really animated in the sidelines. Also, like they brought this up, and they were like, we will expect more cards to the coaches this season, I guess. Well, I'm like
So
a
more
little
of a
bit,
Syria.
yeah, more of a Syria in a way.
Yeah. They should bring just Italian referees, nothing else.
Italian referees don't need those regulations; they're just gift
Yeah,
cards.
yeah,
But Serie A is starting in the next week, not this week. And I think the first game is Napoli will start their title defending.
yeah. It would be quite hard after Spalletti has left. But what I wanted to touch base on is that Messi impact. Messi coming to MLS,
You
and
have He's on your continent now.
yeah, but you cannot find any tickets. The tickets
Yeah,
opens, and
uh,
within 10 minutes it's gone.
yeah. The same week, my sister was visiting Dallas. I think I was telling her like Messi is in Dallas, but you cannot get the tickets because it was like 9,000 euro, the minimum one.
No, it's crazy. It's normal prices for 300, and then it just jumped into at least 10 times, or at least 10 times, if not more.
No, normally like it's for example, like I saw these statistics in one of this channel actually. Um, they are saying like for example, in the one game, they earn more than the whole season in that
Yeah, no,
one
it's true, and
going
also
from
also you have to
game. Yeah, sorry.
take into account the American broadcasting, because it's been
Yeah.
divided by the baseball and the NFLs and NHLs. Now, mm, everything is in Messi, so yeah, that's a huge revenue by itself, for the
Yeah,
MLS.
true. Also, like Tim Cook was mentioning about Messi impact on Apple TV, like his, I think their subscribers
Yeah,
like come
yeah,
to, and
it's
Adidas
crazy.
actually, yeah, Adidas ran out of like any sort of Messi shirts, and there is a 2 months, or yeah, 3 months almost queue for the t-shirt.
Yeah, I was looking for one.
They cannot produce anymore, actually, like anymore.
Yeah, that's out of
So
capacity. Yeah. So
yeah.
it's been great, and also he's producing. Obviously, everybody kind of knew he's going to produce in the field, because he's not there to. I mean, he was obviously in vacation, and then he just appear, and then starts playing like.
Yeah, but for me, it's not like I will start suddenly supporting Inter Miami. For
No,
me, it's
it's
like
not. It's not.
it's
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 just
really like peaceful to see him happy. Like I like we were there all like on the that horrible years he had, like all those final losses, and finally like he won the World Cup. Now he's like it's now he doesn't have any peak to climb or something like that.
no. That's
Now he
that's
can actually,
that's true.
but
He's
he's still Messi,
enjoying.
like
He's enjoying his
yeah,
football, and that's when he's probably the most dangerous.
Yeah,
And it shows. It shows. I mean, Inter Miami is probably not probably. It's the worst team he can choose in MLS.
yeah,
Yeah, there is the impact, and not just him. Obviously, there is Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba who played with them for eternally. Uh,
yeah. Also, like Hazard joined. I'm not sure, but how fit will he be? But he joined in Canadian team Whites or something like that. Vancouver Whites or something like that.
who was that?
I forgot it.
Eden Hazard.
Uh, yeah,
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, but again, uh, I mean, I'm not belittling MLS, but Messi, if he chooses, he can still be the best player in the Europe. So, um, not surprising that he's going to take it to the next level. And the other thing is about what I learned from playing in the artificial turf here in North America is that the most common thing is ACL injury.
yeah.
That happens a lot, statistically more because the ball rolls quicker, but then your feet rolls and then your legs rolls too, and it happens quite a lot. It's kind of scary, and
Yeah, also like for me, it was the shoe actually.
it eventually is shoe. When anybody is playing any kind of soccer, they don't want to invest in shoe. Um,
Mhm.
that's when that's when where
Like
the problem starts. And then
yeah,
your leg overcompensates somewhere else, which happened with me. My tendon Achilles first was ruptured, then to overcompensate, hamstring started, and then it all went south. But yeah, I learned a lot this season. That if you age, obviously you cannot do some stuff similarly. You have to work harder.
yeah, true. Um, Also like I did not know about this sort of stuff like shoe size and stuff like that, and I have this research and I saw that like women's football are actually like they have more ACL MCL injuries because like they are playing with like men's shoes normally. So now I think from this season actually they started actually because I think England were favored because there were so many players like they I think two or three players were out injured because of like this sort of injury. Uh, like I don't know like this actually gave me a lot to think about this
Hmm.
sort of stuff.
Yeah, and also another common thing in turf, artificial turf, is that if anyone goes for a header, two or three people,
Mm.
if you're competing for a header, you leap high, but the landing sometimes can be really hard, and then depending on the health of your knee and the joints, you can really hurt yourself. Um, that happens a lot too. So yeah, it's when someone is playing a rec league, it's a different thing. But then if someone is playing some kind of professional, semi-professional league, it's a more riskier.
Yeah, I only played once here in artificial, and it feels like you know what you said like about the body. It's the same with with the tar, because they wanted to make it like a little bit groundy,
Yeah.
but it's not actually.
No.
Sometimes it slips a little
It's
bit.
great to pass. It's great to pass.
Yeah,
The ball rolls quicker.
it's
Yeah.
not stop actually, and I was not actually expecting that,
Yeah.
and it's hard to control sometimes because like if you are only played your whole life in the
Grass.
uh, grass and now it's like in the turf, it's like it's faster, but also like you
Way
have to
faster.
balance your body. Yeah, you also need to balance your body. It's hard to catch the ball. Like I
And also the
miss like
controlling ball is different.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I did not expect that. It took me a while to like settle down a little bit, but by that time the game almost was ending.
Fair enough. That's what's called preseason, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I don't have anything else to add. I think we should wrap it up on this time. Uh,
What about Saudi league? So many players are going.
yeah, it's because of huge chunk of money. I mean, if they offered
Yeah,
one third or 1/10 to me, I would go, right? So
yeah, of course. I will leave everything.
to go to Saudi, yeah,
Yeah,
it's a huge amount of money, and how many players can say no in their
yeah,
almost
of course.
26 or to 30s? I mean, how many players can say no? That's a huge chunk of money. And there's potentially maybe Kylian Mbappe has to sit out for entire season. He might wanna go and get some fortune.
Yeah, but he will get that actually in the next season, I guess. Like they are, well, it feels like there are some sort of understanding between like Perez and Mbappe's agent or something like that. Now his agent is his mom for some reason. I don't know, and his mom is also representing some other players as well. Uh, a
Goodness.
whole different drama.
Oh, okay. On that note, I guess we can wrap it up. Thank you for joining. Nice to chat after a long time, but we'll keep continuing and we'll try to figure out some of the technological glitches that we had.
Of course, and for our viewers, let us know which game to cover at least like 2 weeks before, or
Yeah,
at least a weekend before, because we need to research or something like that, and then we
yeah,
will cover or something.
yeah. No, that's a good call. Okay, sounds good. We'll wrap it up. Thank you for watching, whoever's watching.